I was born in 1971 and I grew up in the Paarl district. Paarl, the town in the Boland, a really, really beautiful place, the Berg River running through it, the mountains around you on either side, an absolutely stunning setting. And what I learned while growing up in that setting was that I was part of a unique culture. This is what I was taught. This is what school was all about. This is what the town was all about. And Afrikaans as a language, Afrikaans as a taal, was one of the main focal points. And in Paarl, we have the Afrikaans Taal Monument, the monument that represents Afrikaans as a language. But I wasn't told the specifics around how the language was established. I was taught things in school, but there was definitely a political narrative, and that political narrative had a very specific purpose. And I will delve into that in time and explain to people where the concept of boer comes from, the concept of Afrikaner, and break that down for people, because people need to understand today why we don't have a real South African culture and why people identify with regards to things that they should think deeply about. That if you identify as a boer or if you identify as an Afrikaner with regards to the historical context, there's some really bad connotations to that, and you need to understand those connotations. And if you look at the language, Afrikaans, which was my home language, ek het groot geword met Afrikaans, then you will understand the three phases that it went through. And when I told a lot of people that Afrikaans was actually only truly accepted in South Africa in 1983, a lot of people said, but that's impossible, it cannot be. But this is a fact. So in 1925, there's one very specific thing that happened, and that is when Afrikaans was added as part of the Dutch language. So Dutch and Afrikaans. So Afrikaans was incorporated. This was in 1925, and that was through a specific act. And C.A. Langenhoven, who is a long-time family of mine on my dad's mother's side, he was instrumental in making this happen. He was also a Freemason. I just need to reiterate that. As well as was most of the Voortrekker leaders. And most of the people that fought in the so-called Boer War were not farmers. They were not boere at all. That derogatory term came from the British to make the people in Britain feel less bad about the scorched earth policy that Kitchener came forth with, making people think that these were Boer savages, and often using cartoons and so on to depict the people fighting in this fight as savage degenerates. And you need to understand that if you want to claim that title based on that history, maybe you should think deeply about being proud of that title, because most of the people that fought in the so-called Boer War were not farmers at all. A lot of the people, especially the Voortrekker leaders, were highly intellectual. And like I said, every single one of them was a Freemason. Something that most people today would absolutely hate. And the Dutch Reformed Church had like a profound campaign against them. And the whole Calvinist movement and the religious force behind the apartheid government, or the creation of the apartheid government, wanted to put forward a narrative that is just not true. It's all politics. In 1961, there was this loophole created where Afrikaans was also included as an official language. However, and this is through a governmental process. This was Article 119. And the 1961 Constitution, when we supposedly broke away from Britain and became a republic, it explicitly repeated the formula. English and Afrikaans were official, but Afrikaans shall be deemed to include Dutch. It wasn't separated from Dutch. That separation only came in 1983, when Afrikaans was fully seen as an official language where Dutch was not included. Now, I was 12 years old when this actually took place, and that's from the Act number 110 from 1983, the tricameral parliament, and that was their constitution, that the state finally deleted any mention of Dutch in that constitution. A lot of people don't know or understand this. And I think you need to start looking at history deeper. And if you subscribe to this channel, double this, I will enlighten you as to what actually happened. I'll give you the real perspective, because if we do not understand our history, we cannot understand the future. I will be talking about the Henzoppers, I will be talking about the joiners, I will be talking about all of that. I'll be talking about the scouts that literally turned against the so-called Boers, or the people fighting against the British military at the time, and how when they handed themselves over, they actually formed part of these scouts that then actively fought against the so-called Boers, when they were in fact not just farmers. But when Kitchener came around and decided to burn down homes and farms, it was a symbolic way of destroying the narrative that was being spun to the people in Britain, very effective in ousting many of the people that were still fighting on the fronts. And you need to understand that history to understand where you actually come from, who and what you actually are, and then maybe, just maybe, you will want to become a South African before you want to be a Boer or an Afrikaner. Thanks so much for watching this video. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not yet. And if you like more content like this, where you will get information about the past, the real history, what actually happened, join me. Do consider becoming a member, and join me every Thursday evening at 8:30, where I discuss the intricacies and details of our past, and especially the future, with the channel members. Thanks so much. Till the next video.